So not much data this week. How does that impact my chase for a 230-yard carry with the driver? Well, the lack of data itself may not, but some of the intention that comes along with having that data, at least for me, oftentimes might. So kind of the key takeaway this week is shake it off and keep going. This week really saw a significant setback for the driver, and so that was a little bit discouraging if I'm super honest, I guess. But I may have unlocked a couple of things regarding my grip. I've kind of been working on that a little bit and made some adjustments. So I'll get into that here in just a little bit. But all that in mind, welcome back to the chase for 230-yard carry distance with my driver. As a reminder, I've chosen a 230-yard carry distance for my goal to put myself into scoring position more often, mainly on par fours. So I play a lot of par fours that are going to be 300, 400 yards, and I just want to be in a better spot for that. So that's where I'm at. That's why I've chosen that goal. I don't intend to ignore other aspects of goals, such as my short game. However, the driver distance seemed to be the most important thing to me to work on this year. So that's where I've chosen to focus. And really, there will be some things probably that change here, especially we're it's March 22nd as I record this. We're in Michigan, so we got a little bit of time for golf yet, but need to make sure I do work on some of those other areas of the game. So we'll see how that goes. Let me get into, I guess, the results here. Uh, Okay, so here is kind of the results. So last week I was at 214 pounds on average, and this week I'm at 213.1 pounds. So I'm down about 9/10 of a pound here, which is good. I have seen some up and down throughout the week. I don't know how much that has to do with water weight, stress, whatever else might be going on, but we are at least steadily going down. We're behind the goal, but we're going the right direction. Speed. Let's pull up the speed chart here. Yeah, that took a nice little nosedive here this week. So actually just a touch under my goal. I've been kind of yeah, going along that blue line. I've been staying above that the target line, I guess, if you will, there. And this week took a little bit of a step backwards. I'll kind of get into that here in just a little bit, but definitely took a little bit of a step backwards here as far as what I want on the swing speed. A lot of that had to do with, honestly, I was not able to take a lot of driver swings, and especially in one session. And one of the things that I'm learning, anyways, at least for me, is really need to get a lot of swings in because, once I get 30, 40, 50 swings in, I'm really loosened up. And that's when some of that swing speed becomes to unlock. So just something interesting to kind of take note of there. And then with that, obviously the distance went down. My longest this week, my longest drive, I think was 205 yards, maybe 207 yards. So just not great, but I also didn't get a lot of swings in. So I'll get into that some in a minute. I'm trying to not to get ahead of myself for how I'm trying to go through these each week, but that was the results. I'm going over that fairly quickly just because this week honestly was a little bit disappointing. But I do want to get into what are some of the things that I did this week. So the work this week, this how I refer to it, with the strength and mobility training. So not necessarily golf specific, but these are golf specific trainings. This just isn't my swing training, my drills, that sort of thing. If you've been following along, maybe you're familiar, but if this is your first video, just want to make sure that I don't assume everyone knows what I'm talking about here. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I got my strength training in. Wednesday was a little bit abbreviated, but I got all my strength training in that I wanted to do. And my mobility training was really pretty consistent. So as far as strength and mobility this week went, things went well. I mean, I've got that in my routine as well. That stays. It's easier to keep that one pretty consistent. The swing training, the golf drills, that sort of thing, that's a little bit of a different story. So this last week started soccer practice for me, and it was just Monday and Thursday. But there's other things going on that influenced my week as well. So I was able to get out on Monday and Thursday after soccer practice. So left soccer, got home, took maybe 40, 50 swings, did a few drills out in the golf garage between practice and dinner. So no launch monitor, just some drills, just trying to be consistent and get a feel for my clubs, get a feel for the ball, that sort of thing. So it's good. It's necessary. It's just not helping me with my goal of that 230-yard carry right now. Exactly. At least it doesn't feel like it to me sometimes. Wednesday, I was able to have a session with Wade. It was a little bit of abbreviated just because of busyness where he's at as well. And it was good. Just was a little bit, it was just a little bit different this week. Not a bad thing, just was different. He did kind of go over some things with me on the grip again, and also what he calls the go get it drill. So with that, I'm going to send you out to the golf garage. I'm going to show you me doing some work on that go get it drill. I don't think I explained it super well when I was out in the garage, so I'll just go ahead and try to explain it right now, I guess. The go get it drill is basically I put a ball about where I would normally put it for my driver, and basically took an 8 iron on Wednesday and ended up using a 6 iron here. You'll see in the video, and forced myself to have to go get that ball. Have to go up forward. So the idea is to encourage me to end my swing on my front leg a little bit more consistently, try to get a little bit better finish there. So that's the idea. So with that in mind, I'm going to send you out to the golf garage, and we'll be back in just a moment. Wade was calling it, so I'm going to show my grip here, see if I can get Wade's approval, and then see if I can go get this ball. The ball is lined up near my front foot instead of in the middle of my stance on this on purpose to try to encourage that being on the lead foot. I might look like a total fool when I do this. We'll find out together. All right. Also don't have my mic on, so the audio might be a little bit rough, but I'll come up closer and talk. So working on that grip, trying to make sure I've got my 2 knuckles showing here. Can't quite see my logo, but it's pretty close, maybe right behind my watch there. I'm putting this hand on top. And that ball, you can see, is way up here. So I'm going to try to take a swing at that ball. Land on my lead foot a little bit better. 6 iron is easier to do this with than an 8 iron. That's a note to myself there, I guess. So we're going to do that again. Okay, so that is the go get it drill with a 6 iron and a little bit with a driver. I'm working on those parts of those videos, trying to make sure I can think about those as I go into them as well. So these will get a little bit cleaner as I go and learn here. But I'm going to continue working on those this week, and likely get at least one solid driver session in this week. Like I said, I need to get 30, 40, 50 swings in before really things start loosening up. So I'm going to try to get one good driver session in. I need to look at my schedule this week to make sure that I can really make that happen. But I think that will go a long ways for me. Also, it is warming up here a little bit in Michigan, so maybe I'll warm up a little bit quicker. I don't know. But I really want to get those sessions in so I can kind of get those speeds back up. And I mean, whatever I have as far as my driver goes when I start the season, I have it, but I really want to get that 230. So we'll see how that goes. So Friday was the only day that I really had any launch monitor data. And that was, like I said, with limited swings. I think I took like 15 driver swings total that day. And let's just say it wasn't pretty in terms of swing speed and carry distance this week. So Friday evening, my best carry I said earlier was, I thought 207. It was actually 204. So 204.3. My average carry was 190. My club speed was on average was 91.4, and my ball speed was 126. So if I'm wanting to get that 230 yard carry, really the key number there, and all of that, I mean, the swing speed and all that I'm looking at, really the ball speed needs to be 135 to 140 if I'm going to get that 230 carry. There's other factors in there as well if you play with launch monitor data at all, but really I need another 9 to like 15 miles per hour on the ball speed is really what I'm after there to get that carry distance. I've kind of learned some of that as I gone along here, but that's really kind of where I'm at. So, anyways, Saturday, I was hoping to go out. I looked at a couple different local-ish driving ranges that have TrackMan systems on them because I wanted to watch my ball fly. I've been having fun out in the garage, and I like have the idea that I've got that system and I can watch my ball kind of fly digitally, on the screen. But there's just something about watching a golf ball fly. So I checked with a couple places in Lansing. Their TrackMan systems weren't set up yet. They're not opening until the 1st of April, I don't think. So I checked into Carl's down in Bloomfield Hills and Carl's Golfland, that is. And the TrackMans were open. So me and a buddy of mine went down there, did a little bit of shopping, got me some grips and a glove. But the range was like super busy. So we decided to come closer back to home and went to another range up here in the Flint area. And the range was open. Got on the range, got a bucket of balls set up, tried to connect into the TrackMan, and nothing. So about 15, 20 balls deep, there was somebody else that was out there that said, yeah, the TrackMan's been down since Wednesday. And I was like, cool. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate that. But anyways, I think the bucket of balls there was like 100 balls. So I hit pretty much every club, every club in my bag. And definitely got several driver swings in there. Don't know what my distance was. I mean, there was a few that looked really good. My most common miss, if you will, was still off to the right a little bit. So got to work on that, squaring up the face. But I do think I learned a few things, which is why I want to get back out to the garage this week so I can kind of keep working on that and not lose that thought and that feeling. So would really like to have had some data from that range session, but still it was a good session. It was good to get out and swing, and it was good to be able to watch that ball fly and hit a couple of targets. I got some flags out there and a couple of like literal targets. So just big metal things they painted like targets. So I hit those a couple times with the wedges. So all in all, it was a good thing. So some wins this week. Well, I did get several abbreviated sessions in, and I did hit 100 balls at the range. So that was good. I mean, that was probably the most positive thing in the week as far as my actual goals right now are concerned. So that was probably the biggest thing was getting that in there. Didn't help me with my swing speed. Didn't help me with my carry distance. At least it doesn't feel like it right now. But anyways, that's definitely a win. That's definitely a win to be able to get those sessions in and try to ingrain some good thoughts. I do have a couple of drills and setup thoughts to create more consistency in my swing. So that was a win. I feel like I was able to feel that a little bit better here on Saturday at the range. I did Saturday evening after I got home, received a package from eBay, which was a Ping hybrid. So I got that. I took a few swings with it just because I had it. So I opened it up, took a few swings out in the garage, and I really like the feel of that. It's a Ping G425. And I have a 5-wood that should be here on Tuesday. It's also a Ping. That one's a G410. So those are just some clubs that the ones I had previously were just older clubs, like from 15, 16, 17 years ago. And they were entry level, not a name brand. So those were good clubs, I think, to add to my bag and improve in my bag there. Some challenges. I knew a soccer season coming. It was going to be a challenge. It is. I have the practice. And that just takes something out of me. It takes energy. I have to, make sure I'm communicating with parents and setting schedules and just stuff. And it's okay. Like I'm happy to do it. Just it's definitely gonna make some of this neck of the chase here a little bit interesting. Also, if you're familiar with the Garmin R10, they had a firmware update to version like 1.4 or 4.4. I don't remember exactly what the firmware version was, but it really messed things up. I don't know what data was accurate, what data wasn't. It definitely wasn't registering side spin correctly, so you were not getting left to right, that sort of thing. And they got that fixed, and it looks like it's okay now. I've got to really hit some more balls and kind of figure that out, but that was an issue. That's probably part of the reason I didn't get a lot of data this week. If I look back at it and think about, oh yeah, no, I knew that there was a mess there. So, and also it's early spring in Michigan. it's hit or miss for a lot of golf related activities. So some things I want to do, I just can't do yet, and that's just the way it is. So it's not a big deal. Some adjustments for this week. I'm going to continue working on drills to encourage that consistency in my swing. So work on that go get it drill, work on my grip, keep working on, trying to set up to the ball the same every way, really establish a good routine. And then, as I just said, continue honing my grip. I felt like I was kind of getting there. I was kind of trying to get it stronger, trying to get it more consistent with my lead hand and my trail hand. And I feel like I was trying to come way a little bit too over the top with my trail hand. So I'm going to keep working on that and adjusting that. I also found if I just hooked the bottom of my club with my trail hand index finger, I was able to kind of keep that club head under control a little bit more. That was one of the things I kind of picked up on out on the range. So curious to see how that goes. And I really want to get at least one solid driver session with my driver this week. And in that one, I'd love to see my swing speed, the average, to be closer to that 95 miles per hour, at least north of 93 again. I'd like to see some ball speeds in that 135 to 140 range. And I'd love to at least be sniffing that 230 mark again. Like it really was kind of frustrating this week to take the big step back there. I probably shouldn't be that frustrated. That's part of the process, but I've kind of set this goal. I'm putting it out there, and so it's like I really want to hit it. So there's definitely some discouragement this week, and hopefully we can kind of turn that around and just keep going this week. So soccer season continues, other responsibilities in life continue. I really need to make sure that I pursue my golf goals without neglecting those responsibilities because as much as I'm enjoying my pursuit of golf and sharing my pursuit here on YouTube, those other responsibilities are still more important. So I need to make sure I don't neglect those. And I think that's it. That's really it for this week. So I feel like I might have gone a little bit longer. I've been trying to keep these under 20 minutes. Hopefully I did this time. So that's the story for week 12 for the chase for 230-yard carry distance. And just as a reminder, these videos aren't just about my chase for 230-yard carry. That's the thing that's keeping me going right now. That's how I introduced this whole concept here and got started on the YouTube endeavor, I guess, if you will. But this is about me showing how an everyday golfer, regardless of where you're at with your handicap or anything else, anyone can assess where they're at in their game. They can assess where they're doing well, where they can use some improvement, where like if they work on something in their game, where they can expect the best results, the best return, and then aim for those some goals. Set some goals that you can work on and create a process. I mean, I do have a process. I've adjusted it because I've learned a few things along the way. But with my weight training, my mobility training, and my swing training, I'm doing things to try to achieve that 230-yard drive. I'm learning even within that, there's actually systems and things that I need to work on that I should be working on as far as like what they might call process goals to help me with that. And then advance towards your goals. That's what I'm doing right now. This whole chase for 230 is just me advancing towards that 230-yard carry distance, seeing some positive results and some setbacks and adjusting and trying to keep moving forward. Even when it's frustrating. This week was more of a frustrating week, but I'm going to keep going and we'll see you next week here on the chase for 230. But please don't forget to like, comment, share this video if you know somebody who's a golfer interested in golf or anything like that, because those things are really helpful for me. This last week I did pass 50 subscribers, which is cool for me. I got 50 subscribers here on YouTube, and my videos are getting closer to 200 views each, which might not sound like a whole lot, but I'm just getting started. So all those things are encouraging to me. I see some comments from people I don't know, which is encouraging to me, keeps me going. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. I hope they're helpful for you. And we'll see you next week. Remember, progress isn't perfect. It is consistent. Have a great week.